Good afternoon, everyone, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Nadine Lopez, Trade Commissioner, responsible for the oil and gas sector at the Consulate General of Canada in Rio de Janeiro with Global Affairs Canada. Welcome to the Canada-Brazil Natural Gas Forum. Well, this webinar intends to address the current scenario of opportunities in the natural gas market in Brazil and foster bilateral commercial relationships, cooperation, and partnerships in this very important subject. The natural gas industry in Brazil is undergoing changes, regulatory changes. It's been going through a lot of changes, as I said, and we believe this is a very good moment to address the topic and bring together Canada and Brazil to talk about natural gas partnerships and business development. Well, Brazil, the Brazilian gas production is set to grow very substantially in the coming years, and the country must prepare to make the best use possible of all this gas. So this is why we're here today. This webinar is a joint initiative of Global Affairs Canada, Apex-Brasil, and the Brazil-Canada Chamber of Commerce, the BCCC. Before we begin, I would like to inform that this webinar is being recorded. And in order for us to begin with our opening remarks, I would like to invite Mrs. Maria Luisa Wittenberg from Apex-Brasil. She is the investment coordinator at Apex-Brasil. Maria Luisa, welcome to our webinar. Thank you very much for taking the time to be with us today. Now over to you.
Thank you very much, Nadine. So as you mentioned, I am the coordinator for investment attraction activities at Apex-Brasil. It's my pleasure to be here today and to represent the agency and to be here with you to be able to speak a little bit about Brazil in this important webinar. So I'd like to just start by thanking in particular the Brazil-Canada Chamber of Commerce, the Consulate General of Canada in Rio, and the Embassy of Brazil in Ottawa. All three institutions have been important partners of Apex-Brasil in activities related to investment attraction and facilitation of bilateral partnerships between Brazil and Canada, especially in the infrastructure, renewable energies, and oil and gas sectors. So I'd like to express my gratitude to Ambassador Pedro Borio, Carolina, and Nadine, not only for the webinar today, but also for the work we have been doing together. So my main message here today is Brazil has an open and diversified economy with a wide array of opportunities across multiple productive sectors. Although Brazil already has a very competitive and established industrial sector and leads a number of industries in Latin America, there are still numerous opportunities for business development in areas such as oil and gas, renewable energies, healthcare, agribusiness, infrastructure, innovation, among many others. Moreover, Brazil is one of the largest FDI recipients and preferred investment destinations in Latin America. One of the main reasons Brazil continuously receives robust sums of FDI and attracts leading and innovative international businesses is the country's robust investment protection legislation, which is enforced by an independent judiciary and a stable regulatory environment, which in sum provides security for investors. Specifically in relation to the gas sector, while improvements for a more friendly regulation is currently being discussed in Congress, the Brazilian market is opening up to private investments as Petrobras has no longer prioritized natural gas operations after decades of strong dominance and involvement. The idea today is to further detail opportunities and innovative solutions in the gas sector. And for this, we have put together a number of Canadian and Brazilian specialists in the area. In order to end, I would just like to give you a brief overview on Apex-Brasil. So the agency is linked to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Brazil, and we have the mission of promoting Brazilian products and services abroad, internationalizing Brazilian companies, and also attracting foreign investments, so both productive investments and the capital allocation in the country. Apart from our headquarters in Brasilia, we have 4 regional offices in Brazil, 1 in each region, and 9 overseas offices, besides working in close coordination with more than 200 diplomatic missions abroad. Regarding activities related to investment attraction, we offer free of charge services to support international investors in analyzing the opportunities to establish or expand units in Brazil, to start a partnership with a Brazilian company, or to commit capital in Brazil through funds and companies. Our services therefore ranges from customized consulting, networking with public and private stakeholders, and also site selection. Invest with trust and safety, invest with Apex-Brasil. And with this, I end my opening remarks, thanking everyone for the attention.
Thank you, Maria Luisa. Oops. I thought I was muted. Now I would like to invite Mr. James Kim, who is the Trade Program Manager at the Consulate General of Canada in Rio and also Acting Consul General. Please, James, over to you.
Hey, thank you, Najini. Good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of the government in Canada, I'd like to first thank everyone for participating in today's event. In particular, I'd like to extend my gratitude to the partners, Apex-Brasil and the Brazil-Canada Chamber of Commerce, the BCCC. It's always a pleasure for Canada to co-host these types of panels, and especially today, focusing on the natural gas segment. And in my opinion, today's event is a good example of the collaborative approach we are taking to bring together key sectors in Canada and Brazil to promote business development partnerships and investment, and especially against the backdrop of market opening and opportunities in the natural gas sector in Brazil. And it's also great to see so many great keynote speakers who I'm sure will be able to share their experiences and highlight the potential opportunities they see in the natural gas segment in Brazil. One of my key messages basically today is that, yes, Canada is a major producer, 4th largest in the world of natural gas, is also a major user of natural gas. 35% of Canadian energy is actually comes from natural gas. It's also a major transporter. Canada has 500,000 kilometers of pipelines that transport natural gas. And also Canada is a solutions and service provider. There are many companies that do provide solutions and services to this important segment. And lastly, is also a very important investor in the natural gas segment. So in short, my key message is that Canada has the expertise and the experience to help develop this sector. Now we see that the Brazilian natural gas sector is also starting to open up to private investment and is expected to grow substantially over the coming years. And this is also largely facilitated by a simpler regulatory framework as well. So, we see this as an opportune time for Canadian and Brazilian businesses to explore business opportunities, partnerships, investments. And I'd like to say that the Consulate General in Canada, with the Trade Commissioner Service, and in particular Najini Lopez, who covers the oil and gas sector, we are here to help facilitate that bridge, helping bridge Canadian and Brazilian companies explore further opportunities in this segment. So I encourage everyone also to, yes, please be in contact with us. We'd be happy to help you. So in closing, I just want to, I hope today's webinar will be an important first step. I don't think this is the last step, but I think this is really the first step towards a long and lasting bilateral engagement between Brazil and Canada in this particular market segment, natural gas. And through this webinar, we'll be able to, for the industry to share best practices, develop businesses, foster technical academic cooperation, and also in the future, we hope that this is a starting point for more Canadian and Brazilian companies to develop partnerships for more investments to go into the sector. And the government of Canada would very much like to be part of that. So thank you again for the attention, and I wish everyone a very fruitful webinar. Thank you again, Najin.
Thank you, James. Now I invite Brazil's Ambassador to Canada, Ambassador Pedro Borio. Ambassador, over to you for your opening remarks.
Thank you very much, Nadine. It's a great pleasure for me to be here again with you from the Consulate General of Canada and Global Affairs Canada with James. Welcome to Brazil, James, and Carolina doing great work as usual to arrange everything. I'm glad to see a majority of women here, Maria Luisa also. That's also very positive in this opening segment. Let me put my remarks twofold. Well, those that are familiar with the Brazilian gas sector know that the segment is going through an extraordinarily exciting and promising moment of deregulation and opening of possibilities. So for those, there's no such need for major explanation. We think this is a great opportunity to deepen the understanding of what's going on and count on the experts to discuss some specifics. For those who are not that familiar with the segment, I think this event is even more valuable because very sincerely, I can say that I have never seen such a promising moment regarding the Brazil natural gas industry. And the possibilities are very wide, from technical, very specific items to very wide opportunities for investment, also for trade, maybe for transportation, like it was mentioned. So the message is very simple. It's something that is worth looking into, looking fast and looking deeply. And Canada is in a particularly positive situation to partner with Brazil for many reasons, from the experience and the vastness of the segment in Canada to the scale. The scale is not negligible. Very few countries do understand the wideness of the possibilities in Brazil, but also the challenges regarding a country of the size and the diversity of the industrial segments and the networks of energy and consumption and others. And I would also mention that it's not only Brazil. The excitement goes beyond the borders, because now we see a rekindling of the interest of the linkage of the Argentinian gas with the Brazilian consumers. So it's a reason, in my opinion, for even more confidence that this is a very adequate moment for this kind of discussion to take place. I'm not going to dare go into specifics because the experts will do that. But as I always repeat, we are here to help you navigate the Brazilian circumstances, and we have been working very closely with Global Affairs, with the Embassy of Canada in Brasilia, with the consulates. We're very happy to do that. We think the Chamber has a great role also in promoting this deepening of knowledge and links and contacts. And Apex evidently is a key player also. And I would also stimulate you to look beyond the gas. We are happy to register that this year we have had a string of good events discussing different aspects of the Brazilian economy, including more general aspects of investment, economic scenario, trade scenario. And the conclusion, in my opinion, is that we are living in a moment that I could define as a particularly positive window. Opportunities like that don't appear all the time. I think we have to use this, and especially in the case of Brazil, Canada, this is for me evident. And we don't know how far this kind of opportunity, when you have not only deregulation, but also investment possibilities open, and a favorable exchange rate for the investor, and a government that is very keen on moving ahead with a new framework for a segment like gas, which is probably one of the best examples of the moves in the right direction. So just to conclude, I would like to say that I always repeat that there is no bad question. The only bad question is the one that is not asked. So if you have aspects that you would like to explore with us or with our partners, do reach us, participate in the meetings, guys, and other ones, because I think this is a particularly good moment to do so. Very happy to be here, and I wish all the participants a very fruitful discussion. And let's have other ones, and I'm sure gas is going to be a frequent presence in the agenda. Thank you very much, and have a good webinar.
Thank you, Ambassador. Now closing the opening session, I would like to invite my colleague, Carolina Albernaz.
Thank you, Nadine.
Director of Business. Thank you, Carolina. Over to you for your final remarks. Sorry, at the opening session.
Thank you, Nadine. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Ambassador Borio, James, Maria Luisa. So first, I'd like to thank again also Apex and Global Affairs Canada and the Consulate General of Canada in Rio for the partnership in putting this event together. And I'd also like to thank all our speakers here today for taking time out of their busy schedule to share their expertise and insights with our audience. So I'm just going to give a little bit of overview for those who don't know the BCCC and what we do. So we, for 47 years, we've been building relationships between Brazil and Canada, strengthening the bilateral relationship in investment, trade, best practices, and mutual growth and prosperity. Our relationships are private and public, featuring managing directors and decision makers of small, large, and very large companies and institutions. We have a volunteer board of directors with expertise, knowledge, and connections that can only be found by being active players in the Brazil-Canada market. We're a membership-based association, and we support our members through advocacy and government access. We're uniquely placed to gain access and insights with governments in both countries, qualified information insights, what means that our research and connections can identify future trends and qualified rumors to ensure that the intel that you get is correct and timely. And of course, connectivity. So our network is unparalleled with access to universities, not-for-profits, C-suite executives, and entrepreneurs conducting business between Brazil and Canada. And we support those connections with target introductions, sponsorship opportunities in events, brand visibility, etc. So we have organized in the last couple of years over 50 events in 10 different sectors. So natural gas is just another sector that we work with. Established over 10 new partnerships. We work very close with Global Affairs as well to organize and to support their trade missions to Canada. We helped over 70 companies looking either to establish themselves in Brazil or in Canada and to connect with clients and suppliers. And since the pandemic, the COVID-19 pandemic hit, we've moved all our activities online. And now we're in the position to support companies from all over Canada interested in doing business with Brazil and learning a little bit more about the opportunities through tailor-made events and networking platform that will help those Brazilian and Canadian companies to connect and do business. So so if you wanna learn more about how we do and how we can help your company, please keep in touch with us. And before I finish, I just wanted to say that we are organizing as well, do a little bit of a public post here. We're organizing starting next week, a Doing Business in Brazil event that is going to take place in 4 different days over the course of 2 weeks, with an agenda focused on sustainability. And it will cover like really hot topics for the Brazil-Canada community, always with the main goal of providing an overview of the economic and political landscape of the country, as well as the main current trends and opportunities for investors and companies. So please follow us on social media, stay in touch with us, and there's a lot of like really good opportunities and events coming up in the next few months. So I really hope that the participants, they really enjoyed the content that we put together for you all today. Stay in touch, and thank you again, and enjoy. Thank you.
Thank you, Carolina. Thanks everybody for your opening remarks. We are really thrilled to bring together such a great Brazil-Canada team to discuss such an important subject, which is the natural gas market in Brazil especially. So, and we do believe that Canada and Brazil can partner in a number of different fronts in this particular area. So now I am delighted to invite our first keynote speaker, Mr. Edson Real from NTS. Edson is the Commercial and Regulatory Director at NTS, a private natural gas pipeline operator in Brazil. Edson, thank you very much for accepting our invitation. Now over to you.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Nadine. Thank you very much for the invitation. I would like to thank the Brazil-Canada Chamber of Commerce, the Consulate General of Canada, Apex, and the Embassy of Brazil to Canada for the invitation. First of all, I would like to send greetings from Wong Lung. Wong Lung is the CEO of NTS, and he has a long-term and a very good relationship with Canada since the beginning of his career in natural gas. So he was invited to participate, but unfortunately he's in another meeting, so he asked me to represent and present to you the challenges and opportunities to make business in Brazil from a transportation system operator perspective. I would like to just share my screen. I have the presentation we will go through first an overview of NTS, shareholders and grid map and characteristics of the network and the gas market that it is inserted into. And the second part would be more related to new gas markets and the opportunities and challenges that we are facing today and we will face in the near future. First of all, NTS is the biggest transportation system in Brazil. It has more than 2,000 kilometers pipeline network and transports more than 50% of gas consumption in Brazil. The shareholders are IFIP, that encompasses Brookfield, GIC, China Investment Corporation, BCI, plus other shareholders. Itaúsa and Petrobras still holds 10% of the shares. But according to the commitment with CADE, they are going to divest this in the forthcoming months. Just to let you have an idea about our network. We have 15 pipelines and 47 exit points and 9 entry points. It's 2,050 kilometers in terms of pipes. And we have 6 compression stations. And we do have already 3 interconnection points with Gasbol. And we have the largest gas pipe diameter in Brazil is Gasduc 3. It's the biggest, in terms of capacity, it's the biggest pipeline that we have in Brazil. It serves 91 cities, 3 states, the 3 biggest states in Brazil, and it's basically connected to the main routes, the offshore gathering pipelines that are connected to the pre-salt production, Campos Basin and Santos Basin. And it's also connected, unfortunately, it's not shown there. It's connected to one of the 3 LNG regas terminals of Petrobras, located in Bahia de Guanabara, which was the second one built in 2008. NTS was acquired in April 4th, 2017. for $5.2 billion. And since then, the new shareholders decided that they would not only own the assets, but also to operate the asset as a proper transportation company. So we have been investing a lot, not only in the integrity of the system and reliability, so making investments in asset integrity, modernization of our stations, searching for operational excellence, but also to promote the primarization of the operation. So it's a decision that we made in 2017 is to bring the operation inside NTS. We now have been working with Transpetro as an O&M provider. We have a contract with them, but the idea is that by the end of 2021, in some period of time, we are going to operate our own network. So the investments basically were directed to increase the reliability and availability of our transportation network, and encompasses 90 million reais in 2018, 124 million reais in 2019, and 79 million reais in 2020. And basically directed to replacement of sections due to some corrosion and fractures, skid assembly at a new delivery point, a new control room that we have almost ready to allow us to control the operations from ourselves, and acquisition of a compression station. And also we have been investing also in a new receiving point in Guapimirim. It's almost completed. The construction is almost completed. It will enter into operation next year. We will keep investing in dig ups just to check the infrastructure and the pipelines integrity, replacement of some metering equipments in order to get more modern ones. Always checking the structure of the tunnels that we have in our network. This picture here is the Gasduc 3 tunnel. We had a big work to stabilize the structure, and we will keep always doing pigging in order to analyze the situation of the network. So I would say that opportunities that we may have. One opportunity is the economic scenario is interesting for, favorable for foreign investors to come to Brazil to invest here. We have a potential for growth related to the increase of the gas production from the pre-salt. The Rota 3 is a gathering offshore pipeline that's being completed by Petrobras. It's almost entering into operation. And Rota 4 is the new one that's being planned to deliver up to 20 million cubic meters per day and it's going to deliver to NTS network for sure, because we are located exactly in front of the cluster of the pre-salt. But of course, it still depends on the upstream decisions. We have also a potential interconnection with new gas processing facilities that will come from these new investments on the gathering pipelines, and LNG, existing and new LNG regas terminals that can be connected to the grid. We are already analyzing the NTS and TAG interconnection in Cabiúnas because the pipelines are not interconnected. They go through a gathering and processing facility that belongs to Petrobras. So we are working on the interconnection in order to have all the big three TSOs in Brazil 100% interconnected, working as one big grid. And of course, we have the free consumers seeking for new sources of gas supply. With all the new gas market initiatives, it opens the options for gas consumers to look for more attractive opportunities in terms of gas purchase. And of course, pipeline integrity services inspection with PIGs, that's going to be done all the time. The challenges basically is a regulatory framework challenge. Not that we don't have one, we do have one, but we need one more modern and more business friendly, more business focused and more agile. That's something that I will discuss further on the presentation. And of course, another challenge is to develop the demand in order to meet the supply potential of the pre-salt. So how we are working towards the open market. NTS is shifting from a one client scenario to a multi-client scenario. So we have been working very, very hard in order to define the capacity that Petrobras will hold after under the TCC, the accord, agreement with CADE, and release the capacity that's not going to be used for a new open season. We expect to have that by the end of 2021, the new open season. But until then, by the end of this year, we are going to offer some transitional products like the interruptible contracts, transportation contracts. And we are also working through ATEGAS, it's the TSOs Associations of Brazil, for the development of network codes. So the TSOs can work in coordination in order to offer these transportation products to the market. And we are working on the IT systems to serve as a digital interface to the market to contract capacity in our systems. And we are going to, in 2022, implement a virtual trading point where the shippers can do trading and sell and buy gas. Regarding the challenge of the regulatory framework, basically we have been supporting through ATEGAS the approval of the bill of law 4476 that's now being discussed in the Senate, just because it simplifies the process of expanding and building new pipelines, simplifies the process of accessing the pipelines, and it gives more autonomy to the regulatory agency, ANP, in order to regulate and supervise the industry's activities. So we do believe that once the Senate approves this bill of law with the current text that was approved by the House of Representatives, we do believe that this will consolidate all the changes in the gas market that we have been seeing, which is a very good thing. I have been working with natural gas for more than 20 years, and I've never seen such a change in the industry. So we are very optimistic about it. So basically that's it. I will pass to Nadine.
Thank you, Edson, very much. I was raising the sign and you finished. So thank you very much for being so rigid on time. We appreciate it. Great presentation. Thank you. Now, before inviting our next keynote speaker, please note that after all presentations, we will have a special questions and answers session, which will be mediated by a market expert. So for those people who want to ask questions to our keynote speakers, please be prepared, be ready to send your questions on the Q&A box here on Zoom. We will try to answer all of the questions, and if not possible, if we run out of time, we will make sure your questions are answered by our speakers via email later on, okay? So now over to our next keynote speaker, and I would like to invite Mr. Guillaume Vossard, who is the Director of Development and LNG at Energir, a natural gas distribution company operating in the province of Quebec in Canada. Guillaume, it is a pleasure having you here today. Thank you for accepting our invitation. Now over to you.
Thank you, Nadine. Hi, all. I hope you and your family are all doing very well. So I'm pleased to be here. Thank you for the invitation. I'm really happy to talk to you about Energir. I'll share my screen, a short presentation that I have here for you. So hoping everything will be okay here. Great. So so the objective here is actually to introduce you to Energir. Like Nadine just said before, we are the main distribution of gas company in the province of Quebec in Eastern Canada. So I give you an overview of what we do, how we do manage the gas distribution, but also what's our vision in the way to integrate natural gas in the upcoming years, near future, with all the climate challenges that we all are facing right now. So first of all, Energir was a couple of years ago was a public company. Now we've been going private since I think last year or a year and a half. Energir is mainly owned by pension funds. One of the biggest pension funds in Quebec is the Caisse de dépôt et placement du Québec, but also owned by Enbridge, which is one of the main gas company in North America. So this gives you a good overview of our activities in the Northeast, actually, of America, because of course we have activities in the province of Quebec, but we are one of the major energy companies in the Northeast region. So for example, we do distribute gas in Quebec, but also we are the sole distributor of natural gas in the state of Vermont in the United States. And we also are distributing the electricity in the Vermont state. So we own these two utilities in the state of Vermont. We also own solar farms and some places around the United States. And we own also other energy assets in the province of Quebec and also in the eastern part of North America. So as you may know or not, the province of Quebec has a very special energy, I would say, portfolio. And the fact that the electricity here in Quebec is very cheap and abundant, it's produced almost 100% by renewable sources. It makes the natural gas a different market than in other states or other regions where natural gas may be used in other ways. For example, we don't have any power generation of electricity using natural gas in the province of Quebec. So mainly, the place of natural gas is for, and you'll see later on, industrial market. And one of the things that we are aiming for a lot is to reduce actually, well, we understand that electricity is really here to stay, and renewables are here to stay in Quebec. But there's a lot of, as you can see in this slide, there's 40% of petroleum products still used, but mainly in the industrial sector and in the transportation sector. So one of the goals that we have as an energy company is to displace these petroleum products by natural gas. And natural gas is actually very, very well positioned in order to do so and reduce the GHG emissions of that sector, but also improve their competitiveness overall. So I thought it was going to be helpful for you to see a map of the pipelines that we have in North America. So you see, it's an integrated system that we are all connected on. Same thing as for the electricity system in North America. So mainly, and you'll see on the next slide, but the main gas production sector where we are getting our gas from is from the west part of Canada, near Calgary and Edmonton, as you can see on the upper left of the map. That's one of the places where the gas is from and distributed in the province of Quebec. But also near Chicago and Pittsburgh, there's a Marcellus, the Marcellus gas, I'll call it system, or production region that has been increasing for the past decade or a few decades actually, and is one of the main hub of natural gas in North America. So, and this is very fortunate for us because the gas, as you see in Chicago, it's much closer to the province of Quebec than the western part of Canada. So this is a map of our system that we are managing. We have over 11,000 kilometers of underground pipelines that is actually distributing the gas in the province of Quebec. We actually do deliver 97% of the gas. There's one other company in the west part of Quebec that is doing the remaining 3%. We are a regulated public utility. So all our activities are reviewed, and our return on investment is approved by a regulator, which is called in French, the Régie d'Énergie du Québec, and I translate it commonly in English by the Quebec Energy Board. So all our rates are regulated by this board, but also the structure that we have in a commercial way. I mean, all the commodity, the molecule that we buy to distribute to our customers, the transportation, as Mr. King said before, there's a big system of transportation in Canada. The fees that we pay for such transportation of the molecule to bring it to the province of Quebec, all of these services are a pass-through service for Energir. We don't do any money on this, on these, I would say, tariff or these elements of the pricing structure that we have to sell and distribute the gas to our customer. The only place where we do have a return on investment or where we have a profit mechanism is on the distribution tariff that we are charging for our customers. So this is a very simple way of doing it, and it's the way that the regulator has decided that Energir can do this money on. And it makes sense because mainly our investment and our risk that we take is on the capex expenditures that we do to build pipelines and to own and operate these pipelines. So we don't take any risk or any financial risk or market risk on the commodity itself, because it's 100% replicated into our tariff that we charge to our customers. So this gives you over here a good portrait of our customers. You see that the residential customers represent 70% of our 205,000 customers, which is a lot. But as you can see, the distribution revenues are less than 25%, well, around 20% of the whole revenues that we have. The main driver for the revenues are the commercial customers, which represents almost around 25% of our base. And you see the industrial customers, only 4% as a number for the customers, but represents more than $200 million of revenues for the company. So that means, I mean, I think it's the same thing for all the utilities like us, but in order to develop pipelines and to meet region needs, usually it's always driven by a big industrial customer or a big industrial park that is willing to have gas or needs to have gas. And on the way through, in order to connect that region, we serve the commercial and the residential areas on the way to that industrial park. So that represents our base and the format of the distribution that we have in the province of Quebec. So I told you I was going to talk a little bit about our vision and the way we see natural gas in the energy mix that we are experiencing right now. So there are three big axes that we are investing on, and I would say that's the mantra of our company. So the first one is to reduce the energy consumed by our customer. So the philosophy we have behind this is the best energy is the energy that we don't use. So and you'll see later on, I'm going to go into a bit more details on how we do this as a company. The second one is to replace and integrate more and more renewable energy into the energy mix that we have here. So one thing that we are focusing on a lot right now is to integrate renewable natural gas into our system in order to make it the greenest as possible. And the third axe that we are working on a lot is to replace, as you saw before, we have petroleum products a lot, 40% in the energy mix of the province of Quebec. So to replace these petroleum products in order to reduce the GHG emissions of these sectors, but also improve their competitiveness. So first, the energy efficiency plan that we put in place. We were the first utility in Quebec to introduce that plan 20 years ago. Since then, we have developed over 20 financial assistance programs in order to make our customer use less of our product, which is a bit counterintuitive, but for us, it was one way to promote the energy that we were distributing in comparison with renewable electricity that is actually very cheap in the province of Quebec. So since then, we've been, the customers that were benefiting from these programs did savings of about $140 million. So the other axe is the renewable gas. So since about 10, 15 years, we've been focusing on this, I would say, new trend. And basically, the renewable natural gas is made out of landfills or also agricultural matter, sludge, wastewater treatment plants, and landfills, like I said. And we've done a study a year and a half ago to see, we wanted to know with the landfills and all the agriculture that we have in the province of Quebec, what would be the maximum integration of renewable gas into our system. The conclusion of this study was that by 2030, 2/3 of the 200 BCF yearly distributed by Energir could be from renewable sources. And also, we've been working with the government a lot in the past years in order to integrate that new energy into our system. And the government adopted a bill of law a year ago, obliging us to have a minimum of 5% of renewable gas into our system by 2025. So the last one is the other markets that I would say basically the main distribution system cannot reach. How can we assess or address these markets and find some new ways to market natural gas? So one way is to use LNG, which is liquefied natural gas, or compressed natural gas, in order to meet customers that are not on the grid itself or on the system, or that are using that could use natural gas, compressed or liquid, as a fuel. So we've been developing many projects since 10 years, and that's one of my babies. So I'm happy to have the opportunity to talk to it to talk about it to you guys. But it's really, we've been using LNG to distribute energy to one of the biggest mines in the province of Quebec. Also, we have 8 vessels using LNG as a fuel instead of diesel on the St. Lawrence River. So there's 5 commercial vessels and 3 ferries using these the LNG that we produce in our liquefaction plant in Montreal, and we deliver that LNG by truck to these vessels, and they're using it as a fuel. So this is a trend you will see coming in the years to come, because in Europe there's a lot of development for LNG bunkering, LNG for the maritime industry, and actually it's with the more stringent regulation in place in the maritime industry right now on the emissions, LNG is one of the I would say the best fuel that you can find on the market, available and very, very competitive in comparison with diesel. So maybe to the last thing about the other trends or other markets that we see coming is the natural gas for transportation, road transportation. So trucks are the main reason why there's still 40% of petroleum product use into the province of Quebec. So at Energir, we've developed since about 10 years Blue Road, we call it. And so there's about 33 stations of compressed natural gas or LNG that are either public or private, and that serve about 800 to 900 trucks running on natural gas. So we've developed that network into the province in order to make it as reliable as possible and as affordable as possible for the trucking companies that wishes to switch from diesel to natural gas. So mainly this is, I would say, a very short presentation of Energir and what we do. So I'll be happy to answer your questions later on, or if there's anything, I think Nathan will tell you that you could also communicate with us by email or phone in the upcoming week. We'll be happy to do so. So thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Guillaume. Very interesting presentation indeed. Now I would like to invite our next keynote speaker, Mr. Lucas Lima, who is the Institutional Relations Manager at ENP, a Brazilian energy platform headquartered here in Rio de Janeiro. Lucas, welcome to the webinar. The word is yours.
Thank you, Nadine. It's a pleasure to be here and in the presence of great colleagues and professionals of the natural gas industry. So on behalf of our CEO, Márcio Felix, I would like to thank the invitation to join this great event and welcome the speakers and all the organization of this event. So before I talk about the opportunities of Brazilian natural gas, I like to talk about more our company. So Energy Platform is an innovative business platform in the energy sector, operating throughout Brazil, based on Rio de Janeiro. So we are born in May of this year, and we have a team of executives with many years of experience in the oil and gas industry. We are looking at opportunities in the energy sector, especially in oil and gas industry. In exploration product sectors, opportunities in the open acreage of E&P, farm out process, etc. And when you look for a downstream sector, we are studying the possibility of a refinery and a lubricant plant. We are mainly focused on the state of Espírito Santo, the onshore basin. And the message I'd like to say is we do believe in the revitalization of the Brazilian onshore and then the new gas markets, and we are working for that. So, before actually talking about the opportunities and future perspective of natural gas in Brazil, it's convenient to know that what is happening, what the transition scenario is the transition from a market controlled by monopolies to a competitive environment introduced biases and reduction of cost of natural gas in Brazil, one of the highest in the world. So when you look at the natural gas in our energy metrics, you can realize that its participation is kind of low and correspond on to 13%. So when you look the world average, it is around 22%. So Brazil's natural gas prices are also among the highest in the world, around $14 for a million BTU. So when the average of the European price of just over $8.8 for a million BTU, and the US bill is under 3.9. So so the current lack of gas market competition is stark. Petrobras control around 77% of the Brazilian gas production, almost 100% of imports, 99% of processing, and almost 100% of the transportation capacity as booked longer-term contracts, as well as 20 of the 27 state distribution companies. So, however, this scenario is changing. Petrobras agreed a statement with the Brazilian antitrust regulator, the CAD, to offload equity interest in several key pipeline companies. So the firm will sell its remaining stakes in pipeline companies and gas subsidiary Gaspetro by December 21, and with a possible 1-year extension. So allowing Petrobras to sell off assets and get out of non-core sectors is essential to the government's natural gas strategy. So the Brazilian natural gas program consists of a series of actions that aim to promote the growth of the natural gas market through a significant price reduction by increased competition in the sector. It's a great chance for the effective participation of the new players in the exploration and prediction and the full access of others agents to the gas flow, process and transportation infrastructure. So it's a great. So when you talk about the opportunities, the potential opportunities that those reforms represent are enormous. In the next decade, it's expected an increase in natural gas production in Brazil, mainly sustained by production in the offshore environment, with a significant contribution from the pre-salt accumulations, mainly in the Campos and Santos Basin. According to energy research company forecast, the total gross national production of natural gas currently in the order of 125 million meter cubic a day is expected to reach the level of 275 million meters cubic a day by 2030. So there are multiple opportunities across the value chain. First, for new market agents, there are the various asset disposals. Second, for exploration and production companies operating in Brazil, this is the first true chance to monetize gas beyond selling at the wellhead. So with time, that there will be a more liquid market with multiple agents and all lands. When you talk about infrastructure, it's thought an obvious challenge. Most of the country existing gas infrastructure is located around the south and the southeast. So it's important to know that Brazil has less than 50,000 miles of gas pipelines for transport and distribution. And when you look at US, that has more than 4 million miles. So due to the lack of transportation pipelines, more than half of total domestic production is either flared or injected. However, challenge means business opportunities and industry development in the country, as well as a chance for the new players in the new market. So with the introduction of the new technologies that allow the development of the new markets can also contribute to the new moments in the country's natural gas industry and to the internalization and capitalization of the use of gas through the implementation of competitive, commercial, logistical, and operational models like free consumer, small scale LNG, virtual pipelines, as I said, small scale and LNG, transportation of gas by virtual pipelines, by road, and for power generation, gas to liquids, gas bunkering, etc. The potential opportunities of the new market is not only at the pre-salt offshore. It's also looking at the further onshore exploration. The change in the regulatory environment and the exploration production onshore, thanks to the revitalization programs of exploration and production of oil and gas onshore, it's called READ, is creating the new scenario at the entry of the new place and increased gas production. It's known that the onshore gas is very competitive and thus opens up new business opportunities. It's also important to know that the increase in the continuous supply of natural gas will stimulate the competitiveness of the gas in the country, in addition to the potential to review new provinces, and that the revitalization of the mature fields will stimulate production. In this sense, international investors are already turning their attention to the country's significant gas potential. So in order to conclude my speech, the moment we live in the oil and gas industry in Brazil is unique. There are great opportunities to be taken advantage of natural gas industry in Brazil. The future market will be much more open, diverse, and competitive. Actors who already operate in Brazil will be able to perform other functions, and new actors will enter or appear in the market. The offer has the perspective to growth and diversifying the source of supplies, both nationally or internationally. So the peers are on the table. It's up to the players to define their strategies that allow or overcome the challenges posted. So I think that's it. Thank you, Nadine, again.
Thank you, Lucas, much. There's a lot of information, a lot going on. So thank you for being able to share all that with us. Much appreciated. Now we're running behind time. I would like to invite our next speaker, Ms. Elisa Perniza from Gas Liquids Engineering, a Canadian service provider. Elisa is based in Rio de Janeiro, and she is the International Business Manager with Gas Liquids Engineering. Elisa, over to you.
Thank you, Nadine, so much. I will try to expedite here so we are good in time, okay? I'd like to thank the invitation to be here from Apex-Brasil, Global Affairs Canada, through the Consulate General of Canada in Rio, and also the Brazil-Canada Chamber of Commerce. I'd like to share a special thank you to you for such a long-term relationship and all the support you have been giving us from Gas Liquids. Also, thank you to Padilha and Carolina. It's an honor to be sharing this panel with Ambassador Borio, Maria Luisa, James, Edson, Guillaume, Lucas, Ronaldo, and Gustavo and Peter that will be joining us later. So good afternoon, everyone. My name is Elisa. As Nadine said, I'm the International Business Manager for Gas Liquids Engineering. I hope I'm not speaking too fast. I report directly to our Vice President of Global Operations, Peter Griffin. I started in the company in 2015, looking after Brazil, then I grew to South America, Latin America, and today I manage the team in Latin America and support the company in our efforts in Europe and Middle East. Apart from me, we also have Giovanna in Rio, who's watching us as our business analyst, and Karen in Mexico. Everyone else sits in Calgary. In our headquarters, West Canada, we have around 230 employees. We are basically an engineering company. We are privately owned with over 30 years of experience. We do engineering projects. We design facilities from the wellhead to the sales point. We don't fabricate anything. We don't build anything. We do mainly onshore projects, but also some offshore, more natural gas than oil, but also oil. I would say that 88% of our projects are related to natural gas. And also to give you some breaking news, that we are organizing ourselves to enter deeply in the refinery projects. We have a few people in the company who can do that, but I believe by the end of the year, we will be able to offer this as a complete service as well. We have all disciplines of engineering, but if I can name one of our great strengths is process engineering. So that's very key and important when you're dealing with natural gas. 30% of our projects are outside North America, and we do projects from feasibility studies through basic, feed, detailed engineering up to startup. And this was just a brief introduction about us. And I would like to say that lately we have been working many proposals for bid package, meaning that we will do all the engineering so the producer and the operator can go EPC. And we have great expertise dealing with high amounts of CO2 and H2S, which we understand is a great challenge in Brazil, especially the pre-salt, not only with solutions regarding acid gas injection that we do a lot, but also we have some other innovative solutions for that. We have in our team professionals and doctors who have published books about those matters, so we feel very prepared to deal with them. We have done several projects in regards to monetization of stranded gas. We understand Brazil is a large country, and sometimes the assets is in the middle of the jungle or deep down in the ocean, or no infrastructure to transport it. So we believe this expertise is very handful. We have done several projects in pipelines, improving existing facilities, mature fields, gas to wire solutions, small scale LNG, like Lucas said before. Sometimes the producer needs to increase its oil production, but there is some gas associated and you need to do something with this gas that's not simply flaring or injecting. So we have been putting many proposals out there with innovative solutions for that. Internationally, we tend to form alliances with local companies, not only because Canadian engineers can be a bit expensive, but also because Brazil and many of the other countries we operate have very good engineering companies. So we try to bring these alliances in order to offer the best cost-benefit solution to the final client. That being said, the BPP program, which Padilha is going to speak right after me, has been very supportive to our business in Brazil Even though I'm here since 2015, I have to mention that it did add a lot of value to us. They have truly studied us to know our business, to understand us and connect us with relevant partners. We signed 3 MOUs with 3 different companies they have introduced to us. 1 engineering company, 1 EPC company, and 1 equipment fabricator. With one of them, we are already working on a project. So I have to say that BPP program is true, guys. You can trust it. We are doing projects for real together and also putting more proposals together with some of those partners. And so we are doing this project together, a basic engineering project. In Latin America, we have done projects in Venezuela and Bolivia in the past, but most recently in Argentina, Colombia, and Brazil. So Gas Liquids truly believes in Latin America market and in Brazil. And just to get to my close remarks here, in terms of challenges, as a Canadian company, we believe it's key to have members in the team who can speak the local language. It's very supportive, that understands the local culture, and also that understand the tax burden. In Brazil is a bit complex, but I can prove it's doable as we have been here for so many years. And as Brazil is a large country, some of the places where the oil and gas are difficult to explore, but our expertise has allowed us to develop projects in such places. So we believe we are able to face those challenges. In fact, those challenges were what motivated us in investing in Brazil. Like Lucas said before me, the challenges for us also mean opportunity. And I would like to encourage everyone who is watching this to give a chance to the Brazilian market. There's been many changes going on in the Brazilian natural gas market, and I believe the other speakers have addressed many of them. So that's me for today. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate contacting me if you would like to share your concerns about the Brazilian market, or we would be very happy to share our lessons learned here. So thanks again, Padilha, Nadine, Carolina, for the invite and the opportunity.
Thank you, Elisa. Thank you very much for your presentation, for your talk. Actually, now, last but not least, I would like to invite our partner, Mr. Carlos Padilha from Apex-Brasil. Padilha is an investment officer at Apex-Brasil, and he will give us a presentation on the BPP program. Padilha, great having you here as a speaker too. Over to you.
Hi, Nadine. I would like to thank you for our partnership to put together this webinar. Also, Carolina from BCCC. We have been a great team working together to try to bring the best of Brazil and Canada in the natural gas market. I also want to thank the support for the Ambassador of Ottawa, Mr. Pedro Doria, which has been a great support for our work here at Apex-Brasil. I'll share my screen so I can show the BPP program. As Nadine said, I'm responsible for the oil and gas sector here at Apex-Brasil, working in the investment division. Apex is a national agency for promoting exports and investments. We started out working more focused on the export promotion of Brazilian products and services. Then we moved on to the support to internalization of and expansion of Brazilian companies. And also we provide now support to attract foreign investments, focusing on prioritized sectors. As we're going on this difficult crisis, we keep a web page on the measures that the Brazilian government is taking to mitigate this crisis. And you're welcome to to visit it and get to know what Brazil is doing to prevent the COVID crisis from more impact in the economy and health of people. Well, work at Apex is to try to position Brazil as a top investment destination. So we do that through building strategic alliances all over the world. We promote investment opportunities like the one in the natural gas market that's imminent to happen, as everyone has said before me. And we also think it's a good way to approach the market to do partnerships with a qualified company. So we keep a portfolio of qualified company, of Brazilian companies that may match your interests to speed up the process of entering the Brazilian markets. This will help you facilitate your soft landing. Apex-Brasil has a full set of services to support you either on partnership projects or greenfield projects. Apex-Brasil has a very wide network. Our own offices in Colombia, regional offices in Brazil and all of the Brazilian regions, Brussels, Moscow, Dubai, and two in China also. Besides all the connections that we with the promotion sections in the consulates and embassies of Brazil all over the world, and the cooperation agreements like the one we're working together here with BCCC and Canadian Consulate in Rio. Actually, Brazil is one of the top 10 economies in the world, and we are being very successful attracting investments in the last few years. In 2019, we were the 6th destination in the world. All the investments that Brazil brought to Latin America correspond to 43.8%. So this is a huge amount. And Brazil is a very strategic location for all Latin America. We're a country of 210 million people. We have a lot of room for growth. Today, I'll talk a little bit about the BPP program. BPP is the Brazilian Petroleum Partnerships program designed to attract investments by fostering partnerships between Brazilian and foreign companies, specifically in the oil and gas sector. We promote the integration of Brazil into the global supply chain. What we want to do is to bring more innovative solutions, more open-minded investments that can improve the quality of our products and services through manufacturing and also bringing innovation to Brazil. We want to strengthen the global supply chain and specifically in Brazil, the natural gas opportunities that we present today. Also, we want to attract investments in Brazilian companies that want to grow. So we welcome private equity and venture capital also. For a foreign company, what we can do for you is to accelerate your market entry by developing fruitful partnerships. We can help you acquire knowledge and relationships with major players in the oil and gas sector. And we can, through establishing successful partnerships that will also help you satisfy requirements for the local content, we can put you together with qualified Brazilian companies that we have selected with the help of experts in the oil and gas industry. Then we'll put you together with them online meetings to do matchmaking agendas for free. And this will protect your investment and reduce the risk of your investments and the costs. Apex will not get involved in the negotiations. We want to do the matchmaking and speed up the process, but we'll also be available for the aftercare and customized support in anything you need to make your investment a success in Brazil. We are not just sitting here and waiting for the investments to come. We go after it. So this is a few pictures that we took in our last participation in the Offshore Technology Conference in 2019. So we worked together with important institutions from the government and also 50 Brazilian companies that wanted to show their solutions to the world. So we are going to do the same in 2021. We also did technical visits. We implemented seminars to talk about success case and share experiences. And we plan to do that in Canada also next year. Actually, we were already planning to be on a GES, a Global Energy Show in Calgary this year, but it was unfortunately canceled due to the pandemic. And we want to do something similar what we did in Aberdeen in offshore Europe 2019. We want to promote investment opportunities. We want to do technical visits, benchmarking, improve our regulations, bring better experiences with the experts in the natural gas fields so we can influence decision makers either on government and the private sector to develop the natural gas markets. I am Carlos Padilla, Oil and Gas Investment Officer. I'll be here to help you. I'll hand it over to you, Nadine, and my presentation is available to anyone and also my email. If I can be of any help, please let me know, okay?
Thank you, Padilla. And now we have finished our presentations, and I would like to invite our moderator, Mr. Ronaldo Martins from Ensotec. Ronaldo is a consultant at Ensotec, which is a Brazilian consulting firm specializing in oil and gas. Ronaldo will be mediating our Q&A session. Ronaldo, thank you very much for being with us today. Over to you with our questions.
Thank you very much, Nadine. Thank you, the audience. Thank you, the speakers and the organization to invite me to be part of it. We have some very sticky questions for the presentators. And I will choose some ones to be shared with the audience right now. And the other ones that we will not have time enough to do here online, we will address for the speakers and they will answer later on, okay? The first question is to NTS, Mr. Edson. And the question is NTS finding in Brazil the proper human resources to develop its activities, meaning technical qualification? And what about the goods and services supply chain? Is it competitive and reach the NTS standards?
I would say that Brazil has a very good, is very well equipped in terms of human resources in the oil and gas industry, since we do have a very strong and very big industry here. But of course, we don't discard the possibility of bringing some foreign companies or employees to work with us. I don't know specifically in terms of the service providing. If Gustavo is our procurement manager at NTS. I invited him to answer specific questions here. Gustavo, would you like to give us some overview on this?
Sure. Guys, I don't know if you can hear me. I just try to.
Yes.
I'm actually on the office here, so I have to wear a mask. So good afternoon to everyone. Okay. Well, as Edson told you, NTS is it's a newly formed company, and as such, we do have a pressing need to foster new partnerships. And of course, some of the companies that we're currently working with, they are foreign companies, but they're also based, they have they're based in Rio somehow or in Brazil. So just for you to understand, and our qualification process is extremely simple. Even more so if you're somehow familiar with the Petrobras screening and qualification process. And we do encourage Canadian companies to approach NTS to offer new services, mainly on the technical consultant areas. So the short answer is yes, we do have a lot of qualified companies, but we also look forward to working with foreign companies, even if they don't have an office in Brazil. And I do encourage everyone which is interested to learn more about the categories of services that we're currently in need of. Edson has told us about some of the few categories, but you can reach out to discuss in more detail, and we see if we have a fit for doing business. So I encourage you to reach over so we can talk more about NTS needs. Okay.
Perfect. Thank you, Edson and Gustavo. The next question is for Mr. Guillaume for Rosa. And the question is, you mentioned the energy efficiency as a strategy to support your clients. Do it include the development of devices to improve efficiency and the substitution of other energy sources, like a natural gas heater substituting an electrical heater?
Yes, it does. We have an affiliate that is actually a center of research that is actually not developing necessarily the technology itself, but testing the technology. We have also programs in place that supports the investment from our customers into more efficient gas systems instead of old or more, I would say, normal gas systems. So we support our customers this way, and this is part of our efficiency programs.
It means if a company has a solution based on natural gas energy, your company is able to test this new device to improve the capacity to consume natural gas in Canada or in other places?
We'll be interested to look at it, of course, and I cannot talk for the affiliate itself. I don't know exactly the way that they are implementing or testing or I would say doing research out of these I would say new technologies. But I know that for us there will be, of course, an interest in better understanding what are these technologies in order to help our customers use actually the best affordable and available technology in order to consume the natural gas we distribute ourselves.
Okay, thank you very much. The next question is for Elisa. As a Canadian company opening new markets in Brazil, how Gas Liquids is analyzing the new natural gas scenario in Brazil, and how Apex-Brasil is supporting the strategy to reach the Brazilian market in the arrival of gas liquids in Brazil safely?
I have to say that when I started to... Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
I have to say that when I started in gas liquids, the price of the barrel dropped severely. And right now, we have never seen a market as favorable, especially natural gas, as we are seeing now. In the first year, we did not put any proposals on the street, and now I'm working like crazy, putting proposals together. So I'm very happy. That's the kind of problem I want to have, being this busy. And the support of Apex was really good with this program. As I said in my presentation, it can be supportive in any stage of the company, of the foreign company in Brazil, as a Canadian company in Brazil. If you're thinking about coming, the program can provide you intel for you to have this support to make your decision to come or not. We were here already for over 5 years, and we still didn't know any of the companies that were introduced to us through the program. So Brazil's huge, and you were hosting our meetings, and I remember I said, oh my God, I think Gas Liquids doesn't need me anymore because Ronaldo studied so much about us, he can present the company without me. So that's how much you guys are committed to making this program work. So you studied about us, introduced us to relevant partners, and you asked for feedback, what we needed to make the business happen, but also left us very comfortable to negotiate with those companies. So I think it was very helpful to have this support, and we are committed as long-term partners with Apex, and hopefully we can help other Canadian companies to come to Brazil as well.
Yeah, thank you very much for your answer and for the references you are giving for the BTP and Apex and our support on it.
Only being really fair to you guys.
Great, thank you very much. Nadine, we have a lot of other questions, but I suggest all of them are addressed straight for the speakers and will be answered by email for them, straight for the people that are answering. And few ones are answered in the chat and also could be seen for the audience, and other ones are here in other minutes. Okay, I will pass the word for you, Nadine, finishing the Q&A section.
Hello, I think we've lost Nadine. I don't know where she's gone. Hello. Hi, everybody. I'm Peter Hawkins. I'm the co-chair of the Brazil-Canada Chamber of Commerce. And I want to just jump in and give everyone a wonderful thanks for your participation. I'm very grateful. Merci à tout le monde pour d'avoir participé et d'avoir partagé vos connaissances commerciales. Obrigado a todos por participarem e por compartilharem suas informações comerciais. I want to thank Ambassador Pedro Porrio, who has generously given his time for many BCCC initiatives, and I want to thank him for being so accessible. He really is advancing the Canadian-Brazilian relationship at a speed that we have not seen in a while. As he shared that the gas segment is going through a dramatic time of deregulation, and we're living in a particularly positive window, especially with the government keen to move ahead and a favorable currency for the investor. I want to thank James Kim, Acting Consul General in Rio, who really is showcasing the collaboration of these two countries. Maria Luisa Wittenberg of Apex, who has showed us that since Petrobras is no longer prioritized natural gas, now the sector is widely open to investors. And I want to thank Apex particularly for all their generous support. Our keynote by Edson Hayal of private pipeline distributor NTS was very optimistic when describing the opportunities and challenges. Governmental consolidation has caused changes in the gas market. Where there is change, there is always opportunity, and several people reported that same phrase. Thank you to Guillaume Brossard of Energir. I was very impressed with the reach of the North American pipeline networks, of which Energir is a key player. Thank you. Lucas Lima and his innovative business platform, Energy Platform, comparing the 50,000 miles of pipelines versus in Brazil versus the 4 million miles in the US. Challenges mean business opportunities, and I thought that was a very interesting comment when Lucas said that opportunities are on the table and he urges us to step up. Elisa Pernisa of engineering company Gas Liquids, which is now entering the refinery business. Thank you for your insights, particularly the value of the people on the ground and speaking in local languages, and of course your enthusiasm for rising prices. Carlos Padilla of Apex-Brasil, thank you for bringing the best of Brazil to Canada, and also including the commenting of internationalization of Brazil companies and attracting foreign investments in specific sectors, and of course the BPPP. Thank you for your insights and for your support of our own BCCC initiatives, and thank you to Ronaldo Martins for moderating and for your insight and knowledge. We really appreciate that. And finally, I'm grateful for the hosting efforts of Nadine Lopez, Trade Commissioner Service of Global Affairs, Rio. I want to remind everyone that she has a wealth of knowledge and contacts in this sector. The Trade Commissioner Service should be on speed dial for every person in this industry. And to our own Carolina Albernas, Executive Director of the BCCC, she has done a stellar job of putting this forum together and all our BCC forums together. So I want to thank you all, and I want to just say obrigado and merci beaucoup for everyone. Thank you all. And that is our complete forum. We are grateful and all the best to you, and I hope you have gained some beneficial knowledge. So that's everything. Thank you all very much, folks. All the best.